We've really gone straight into it this time. We usually have a bit of pre-chat.
There's normally a cold open. Never mind.
Yeah.
Not every episode has to be funny.
This one definitely won't be. This is serious.
No, it's deadly serious. This is sophisticated music commentary.
Hello and welcome back to the sofa.
Hey!
Maybe one of the last sofa recordings. We're also recording the Cardigans after this.
Yeah, but there'll be a change of location soon.
Yeah, so stay tuned for that. And also probably quite a few over Zoom as well.
Yes.
Over the summer. But here we are.
Yeah. Live in the moment.
Quicker turnaround, I hope, depending on how quick the edit goes, than last time. And we have two discographies to bring you. We're starting off with The Beat, also known as the English Beat in North America, because of the power pop band The Beat that also exists. Don't get confused yet.
No.
We got 3 albums to rank, and if you weren't confused before, you'll be confused now because we're not counting The Beat featuring Ranking Roger or Dave Wakeling.
Dave Wakeling.
Yes, The Beat starring Dave Wakeling. We're talking about the core 3 albums because I think they count as separate artists. Really.
Yes, I think so.
So, what was your familiarity with The Beat stroke the English Beat?
The longest time I only knew of one song, and it was "Mirror in the Bathroom," which was
I just can't stop it.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I cared to know for the longest time. It was just a song that I heard on a show once. I was like, "Ha, that's funny." And then I went to my work colleague's gig. He plays in a punk and ska band, and one of his songs is "Mirror in the Bathroom" that he plays in his set. And I'm like, "Yeah, all right, I know that song. Good song." And that was it until you played for me "Save It for Later," and I was like, "Oh wow."
Very different.
Maybe The Beat weren't just a novelty one-off kind of band. Maybe this is something that's worth diving into. And so then
we'll find out if it was.
Yes, indeed.
As for me, the first song I heard was "Save It for Later," which was where I found it. Again, shout out to Taste Like Music. I feel like I owe a lot of what I do to them.
And then I do by extension.
Yeah, and the 1982 Song of the Year video, Kramza picked "Save It for Later" as the Song of the Year, and he was describing it. I said, that sounds like something I would like, and then I heard it, and then I heard it 20 times that week. I was obsessed with the song. Then later I heard "Special Beat Service." I obviously picked it up on vinyl, as you would have seen in one of my, our collection video.
Our video together.
So, yeah, and then until this deep dive, that was all I knew. I think you showed me "Mirror in the Bathroom" once, but I didn't really remember it.
All right.
So, we'll see. I'm going to start for this one.
Okay.
And you can start on the Cardigans.
I'm fine with that.
My number 3 is Wha'ppen.
Alright.
Which I think is most people's number 3. It's their most ska-heavy album. And the big issue I have with this one is that what makes The Beat so special is that blend of the pop, new wave, and the ska.
Yeah.
And this doesn't really have the blend. It's just sort of a straight-ahead ska album. It's a lot of the same sound over and over and over and over again. And if you like that sound, that's fine. I'm not the biggest ska fan, if I'm being honest. It's sort of a small doses genre for me.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But it's, it's not... Give it a 6. It's still fairly enjoyable. It's got good energy. It's got good moments. I really, really like Get a Job. That's the one song on it that I really gravitated towards. Great saxophone on that one. But I can see, I was talking to Vanessa about this actually, and she didn't even know that this album existed. She knew about the other 2, but she was like, oh, I just didn't. So I think...
Classic Pretenders problem, that is.
So I think it was largely forgotten, and for good reason. And also, yeah, it's fine, it's decent. I like this more than like half the Pretenders discography, because it's got Dave Wakeling and Ranking Roger, and their dynamic together is very fun to listen to.
It is.
But in terms of like taking songs away from it, there wasn't much here. And it's another to the 1981 curse, as I will call it, with this series, because we had Speak and Spell, we had Abacab, and Pretenders 2, all on 1981, and this.
It's not looking good for it, is it?
No, well, yeah. So Wha'ppen is my number 3.
All right. Well, it may not surprise you to find it is also my number 3, although I think I rated it a little bit higher than you. Overall, I was pleasantly surprised at how I kind of gel with ska slightly. I do think some of Ranking Roger's more bizarre contributions to the band are a little bit alienating, but at the right time can be very fun. And that is one word that I would use to describe the Beat.
Oh, yeah.
I probably wouldn't use to describe any of the other artists that we've done. They're all great, fantastic, love them. But I think that the beat is just fun. There's a lot of fun to be had on their albums, even if the lyrics aren't always on that kind of wavelength.
Yeah.
The sound is still something you can put on and really like do that with. And overall, I saved a lot of songs from this album, and I was pleasantly surprised, like Doors of Your Heart.
Yeah, that was decent as well.
Dream I'm in New Zealand, Cheated, Get a Job I also really liked, and I saved a few others as well. I thought it was really good, and I rated it a 7.
Wow.
So
good.
overall, I'm very pleased to say that I really enjoyed my dive of the beat.
Interesting. You're probably going to come out of this whole experience higher than me.
Maybe.
Because my number 2 is I Just Can't Stop It, their 1980 debut album.
Right.
I give this a 7. I think it's pretty good. I think it's sort of a similar story to the Pretenders debut from the same year, where there are some amazing songs, but as a whole album, I'm not too enamoured with it. I would listen to it again, I enjoyed it, but I don't think it stacks up to my number 1 album, which you now know what it is.
Yes.
Yeah, I think, though, it starts off incredibly well. Mirror in the Bathroom, Hands Off, She's Mine. What a way to open an album. Great songs. I think those two and the song Best Friend are my favourites, because, funnily enough, Best Friend is the song on the album that is the least ska-y and the most sort of new wave type style, which is probably what I prefer. But, like, you know, it's a fun album, like you said. It's enjoyable to listen from start to finish. Dave Wakeling's vocals are very charismatic and enjoyable.
Yeah.
And his, like, rhythm guitar is such a backbone to all their music. And it's quite an iconic sound, I think, for me anyway. But yeah, probably, like I said, small doses and a mood genre for me, ska generally. They almost abandoned ska by the 3rd album. There's still sort of remnants of it there, but this, I think, is the best blend of the two. Just maybe not my preferred sound for them. Even if there are some great songs to take away from it. So,
Tom.
Yeah.
We're not having a slow dive moment.
I realised, yeah.
Yeah, my silver medal does go to Special Beat Service, which is fantastic. And it's got... the B-side is fantastic. It does not start strong, in my opinion. I do not like I Confess.
Okay.
And the following track after that, whose name I can't remember. Then it starts to pick up.
God, what?
What was the next track after that? I didn't save it. I started saving after Sorry, and then I saved everything after that.
Right, I'm gonna... Okay. Carry on.
I really did enjoy the album. It's an 8. And Save It For Later is a fantastic song. Rotating Head, they adapted for Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh!
Did you not recognise it?
No.
Have you seen the film?
Yeah, we watched it together.
Yeah, exactly. And there's the scene where Ferris Bueller is running home.
No, I didn't recognise it, yeah.
But it's not exactly that song. There's a song that the Beat released later on. It was called Rise of the Swivelheads. But it's the instrumental, basically, to Rotating Head, but made longer. And I absolutely lost my mind when that came on. I was like, Ferris Bueller!
Literally, your mind exploded.
It did, yeah. Rest in peace, my mind. And yeah, the B-side is brilliant. Save It For Later, she's going... Pato and Roger Agotok is a lot of fun.
Right.
Right. And Sugar and Stress and Aki 123 is a really good way to end the album. It's an unpopular opinion, I know, but I really don't get anything out of I Confess. And I'm sorry about that. And I know that is going to be a bit of a cross to bear for me come the songs video.
Well, yeah, my number 1 is Special Beat Service, but I also only got it at an 8. This is a strange album for me because I always want to enjoy it more than I actually do. And what I will tell you is that I do agree with what you said. The A-side is not as strong as the B-side. But I Confess is not the problem. I Confess is a brilliant opener, I think. And I actually also like the second song, Jeanette. It's track 3 where it goes downhill for me.
I didn't like Sorry that much.
Yeah,
I just
Sorry,
got more out of it.
Sorry is very forgettable. Spar With Me is a bit annoying, and I don't like Rotating Head that much either. They're all quite fillery songs for me. I've noticed with Ranking Roger, I prefer when he is sort of doing the backing vocals, which is adding like right, the songs that are mainly like ska influence that he leads on, I'm like,
yeah.
It's not that they're not good. It's just I love Dave Wakeling so much.
I know,
and
not my thing really either.
he is sort of what brings me to the band. It's an album that is dear to my heart, and an 8 is a great album in my opinion. It's not an all-time favourite just because those 3 tracks on the A-side drag it down. But you're right, B-side is all killer. You know, you mentioned She's Going is great. I actually think the last 2 songs, End of the Party and Aki 123, fantastic. Yeah, I mean, it's really good. I really enjoy it. Not perfect,
No.
but it's a very fun, like, party album. Is
Yeah.
how I sort of think about it. It really gets you going.
Yeah.
In fact, we listened to the B-side together.
We did, yeah.
You were
I loved
really into
it.
it.
Yeah. And overall, I enjoyed listening to every album on the day.
Yeah.
I would go back to every one. And, you know, I mean, it's only
That's
3
rare.
albums. It's
That's
probably
rare.
not saying much. But I did really enjoy it, and I think it's a really good feel-good experience. And I think it's encapsulated by my #1 album.
Yeah.
I Just Can't Stop It, which, obviously, opening with Mirror in the Bathroom, that's fan service to me. I'm gonna love it. The only real problem that I have with this album is the cover of Can't Get Used to Losing You, which starts off good, but I guess I just don't really like the original song.
Who's it by? The original?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know who it's by. I just don't like it.
I didn't even know it was a cover.
Yeah, oh right, well there you go.
It's funny you should say that. That was one of my more preferred songs on the album.
Oh right,
Yeah.
I still saved it.
Yeah.
It's like, so I heard it. I heard "Stand Down, Margaret" at the end of. I'm watching The Crown at the moment, catching up on that on Netflix. I know I'm a tad behind, but it's about Margaret Thatcher. I think.
Oh,
At
okay,
least
yeah.
It would make sense, and it was the end credits of an episode about Margaret Thatcher. So "Stand down, Margaret, stand down, please." And I was like, "Hey, I know that one," because I'd already done the dive.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I got a lot out of it. Mirror in the Bathroom, Hands Off, She's Mine. I agree. Fantastic way of opening. I also really like Twist and Crawl, Click Click, Big Shot, and Best Friend were brilliant.
Best Friend's great. Yeah.
Whatever I didn't save was just because it wasn't fab. But the songs were over so quickly I couldn't really critique it. It was like, as soon as you dislike it, it's gone. So I wasn't too worried about it. 8 again, so I'm kind of putting Special Beat Service and Just Can't
That's
Stop
fair,
It
I think.
at the same point.
I think I would if I had more time with I Just Can't Stop It. I
Yeah.
think because I've spent so much time with Special Beat Service, I know which tracks I like and which I don't like very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's fair, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty similar thoughts overall, I think, apart from one song.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's about as much as you could ask, I think. Quite an interesting deep dive. I think, Ska is not really a genre we're going to cover.
No, I think we're leaving it here.
Yeah, but it's cool that we've touched on it briefly, you know.
Yeah, we've covered that base now.
And
We've done shoegaze, now it was time to do
exactly.
ska.
The one-offs. But, you know, I think, it's more of a songs genre for me, to be honest, than an albums genre. But I think that's why I get so much out of Special Beat Service, because it really is a pop album more than anything else.
Yeah.
And I think that was them trying to get a more commercial success and get some more notoriety. And really, it didn't work because their most famous song is not on that album. It's Mirror in the Bathroom. So, you know,
they'd already done.
It's kind of interesting. I think it does deserve to be seen as like a pop gem, though. It really is a fun, infectious, danceable album.
Yeah, quite.
And a band.
Yeah, a lot of fun listening to the beat.
Yeah,
I
very.
really did enjoy.
There's
it.
not much we can say to
No.
add to it. It's more just it was fun, you know. And sometimes you need that when you're talking about, you know, heavy stuff with other artists. And I think
Indeed.
Yeah, so enjoyable. Double thumbs up.
Yeah.
Look out for songs.
Indeed.
And for the Cardigans.